All right, how's it going? Before we start, I'd actually like to ask for a huge round of applause for the sponsors as well as the people who are running this event. Thank you guys so much for, this is great. All right, so let's get started, right? I'm Nickols. I am a celebrity photographer from Los Angeles, and I want to explain and tell you some of the pieces of art that I've created. But before I do any of that, I actually need to take a step back. I want to share with you a couple of events that took place in the last couple of years and how it's really shaped a lot of who I am as a photographer. See, I got started in photography a lot like a lot of people who do it, and they're told that you're capturing a moment. And we're all told that. It can be translated as you're creating history or you're freezing time. But it actually wasn't until I saw this amazing piece of art that really changed my mind. It really spoke to me. In fact, I have the piece right here, and that's it. Now, you guys might think I'm crazy, and you might be right. But this was created by the famous Colton Matthew Nickols. You may not know him, but for me, he is my 4-year-old nephew. And what was amazing about it was one time when I was visiting him, he came up to me and he said, "Corey, I want to show you something that is very special to me." And at first I saw it, I was like, that's great. It's going to make the fridge later. That's amazing. Okay. But the more that he explained it, he said, this is actually the 4th of July weekend that we just had. And I had so much fun. And look at this is my dad on the lower left corner and my mom and all the people who came, and there's a swimming pool. And again, I was thinking, yeah, this is just kids' doodles. Okay, whatever. But the more I looked at it, the more I was able to dissect it. See, what's amazing about it is he didn't even know it, but he was actually showing what was most important to him. See, everyone is actually gathered around a swimming pool, and for him, the swimming pool is a deep sense of passion and something he enjoys doing. His mom and dad actually have the most detail out of anyone else in the photograph, showing how much he actually loves them and wants to spend the most time on perfecting who they are. Even if it's just his dad having fingers and feet, and his mom's wearing some kind of garment, I don't know what it is, but she's the only one who's wearing clothing in the entire photo, and that's special. But you can see that everyone around the pool is actually very excited. Everyone's very happy. And for me, the most amazing part about this piece was that he has the same exact haircut as his dad, showing that he wants to be just like his father, which to me was amazing. This was actually the first time I experienced true artistic expression. Now, I'm not judging this thing by how immaculately it was created. It still is a doodle, don't get me wrong. But at the same time, it was someone really presenting who he was to the world. See, Colton had taken a piece, and though he had limited vocabulary, he was still able to tell the world, this is what I find important. This is who I am. I want to share that with you. These are the things that I love and cherish. And I thought that was amazing. And I thought, I've been creating for so many years. Why am I just now understanding what artistic expression is? And I thought about it, and I decided, I think it's because we live in such an individualistic society. We all are on social media, and we are all very loud with the voices that we project to the world. In fact, there's so much going on social media that you sometimes miss the subtlety of art. See, a lot of art actually is more so a reflection of the creator and the person who made it, more than it is about the actual art itself. Just like this piece was written off very fast as a doodle, beneath it all is a 4-year-old child who is wanting to express himself to the world and doing so in a much deeper way than he even knows how. So I'd like to ask again, as a photographer, are we capturing moments? Or are we actually projecting ourselves into those moments? See, when we talk about style as a photographer, a lot of times we are talking about how did he capture it? What was the lighting that he used? We look at all the technical aspects. What type of post work did he do? How did he get it out into the world? But we're actually missing a lot of things. See, style, if you actually think about it, is so much of a representation of who the artist is. It's actually saying to the world, this is who I am, and I'm trying to let you know that. It's almost like when you take a photograph, it's a giant selfie. You're showing the world, this is me, but it's not me, but I'm in there. And who better to show that than Eminem? See, Eminem has actually been photographed for more than 15 years. And I wanted to show the different people who have photographed him. You have Martin Schuler, Jenny Risher, Dan Winters, Danny Clinch, David LaChapelle, Scott Counsell, Mark Seliger, Neaton Van Dugel, and Mary Ellen Matthews, just to name a few. But what's amazing at this picture is the subject is the same in every single photograph, but at the same time, each artist is trying to show the world that this is who I am, and this is how I see Eminem. And I want people to know that. David LaChapelle is extremely colorful and vibrant, which matches his personality, and same with Martin Schuler with his amazing series that he's done with faces of celebrities and homeless people and just people across the board. It's amazing. So about a year back, I actually got to test out this theory. It was kind of amazing. See, I was at a party, and I was talking to a woman, and she was telling me about her sister-in-law, who was a photographer. And I was kind of excited because I was like, okay, don't tell me anything about her. Just show me the photos, and I'll tell you who she is. So she showed me these photos, and they were beautiful. They were very soft but contrasty photographs of women. And a lot of the women, they had their face hidden a little bit, or it was very, you got a glimpse of who these people were. Her style of photography focused more on the shadows than it actually did the highlights. It was very beautiful. So I took a step back and I said, I'm just taking a guess, but I want to say that your sister-in-law is very shy. In fact, she's very introverted. She's introspective with the way that she thinks. She would rather not place herself in the center of a room, but she would rather take a step back and observe the people around her. She likes to watch and see what's going on. She looked at me like I was crazy. She said, that's exactly who my sister-in-law is. And what's so funny about it is these photographs had been in front of her for so long and yet had explained what she had come to know over the series of years. Looking at a piece of art or at a photograph very much reveals who the creator is. Now, this new sense of knowledge was super exciting for me because I felt like I had unlocked this piece in my mind of getting to better know, well, who am I? But then it was also terrifying because it's not like I just became an artist a couple years ago. I actually have been doing photography for a long time. And the thought was kind of scary because who have I been? What voice have I really been projecting into the world all of these years? It kind of terrified me because I thought of, what everyone thinks of, unicorns with jetpacks. Now, you might think I'm crazy again, and I would agree with you, but let me explain. So, about 2 years ago is when I got thinking about this, and I was talking with a friend, and he said, what is the most amazing, awesome thing you could ever think of? And immediately what came to mind was, unicorns with jetpacks. Why not? And he asked me, well, why'd you think of that? And I said, yeah, I'll have to get back to you on that. I don't really know why I just thought of unicorns with jetpacks. All I know is that I want to see it, and I want to see it now. And so time passed, and I kept thinking, well, why did I even say that? And when I got down to it, I realized, yeah, you're taking a mythological creature with a mythological invention, and you're bringing the two together, and it's going into the sky. It's overcoming adversity. It's amazing. I mean, I could just imagine this rainbow trail behind the unicorn as it's gracefully going through the air. That's why it's amazing. That was my answer. That's what was inside this whole time. But see, unicorns with jetpacks, it's that piece of creation that's inside of all of us that we can't explain, we can't put words to. We're just like my nephew Colton, where we are creating something without actually having the words to express why. Initially, unicorns with jetpacks is actually the heart's reflex. It's what comes to mind first before we have a word for it. So I got to thinking, what are my unicorn with jetpacks? What are the things inside that will come out without being provoked or anything, that just come to light, and what is that? So I started to create a list one day, and I started to challenge that list. And eventually it got whittled down to about 3 points I'm going to make. The first one for why I love photographing people is that I believe that people were actually created in the image of God. Now, that is what is giving everyone an inherent sense of value and worth. It's not based on your job. It's not based on anything except for the fact that you were created by God. And I think that's amazing because it transcends a lot of what our culture tells us is important. So for me, I like photographing people because people are valuable, and I want to show that to the world. Also, sometimes I get asked, okay, well, do you photograph people outside of celebrities? Of course. I love photographing people in general. In fact, just a couple days ago, I was walking the streets in Varna, and I was photographing some of the people at the marketplace. It was amazing. They couldn't speak English. I can't speak Bulgarian, but I was still able to connect with them and show them their worth and value by, hey, I want to take a photo. Some people received it, some people not so much. That's okay. Regardless, it's all right. But the second piece leads me to why I photograph celebrities. It's not because of status. It's not because of any of that. Actually, I love photographing celebrities because it's a challenge. I need to be challenged. As an artist, if things are easy, I'm out. I have to be challenged. And just getting a celebrity in front of my camera in the first place is a challenge enough. Then convincing the publicist and the celebrity that I want to do a certain concept, that's challenging too. There's a lot of things that are ultimately hoops I have to jump through, and I like that. The third thing is figuring out what my character is, along with the things that inspire me. So for me, my character, the things that are going to come out when unprovoked, is that I'm a kid at heart. If this lightning bolt couldn't tell you that, you're lost. I love childish things. I'm very much a kid at heart. I'm also like being spontaneous. I love being in the moment. I love trying to be witty and to push myself to create things in the moment. I'm obsessed with history. I love just genuinely connecting with people all together. So these are some of the things that make up who I am when I'm not even trying. Some of my biggest inspirations is Charlie Chaplin and Norman Rockwell, both of who are not photographers, but both have a sense of humor and nostalgia mixed into it, and I love it. So now that we've addressed what some of my unicorns with jetpacks are, I can actually now fully explain why I shoot what I shoot. See, this is a photograph. This is actually a series I did of J.R. Bourne, who is one of the lead actors on a show called Teen Wolf on MTV. And I contacted him and I said, hey, I got this great idea for a series I want to do. Are you interested? He says, yes, under one condition. I want to do it at the beach. I hate the beach. I'm weird, I know, but I don't like the beach. It's the sand going in places you don't want. It's the salt that just sticks to your skin. It's the sunscreen. It's all these things. I hate the beach. So knowing that, I didn't try to make this something that it wasn't. I just thought, you know what? I'm going to photograph him hating the beach because that's me, and I want to show the world who I am. So everything about this, from lighting to concepts to everything, is very derivative of who I am as an artist. I hate the beach. I'm a kid at heart. So for me, going to the beach is like a kid getting their sandcastle ruined. It's just as much like that as it is someone going to the beach and having to ruin someone's sandcastle and deal with the consequences. So both sides are not happy to be at the beach. You also have the poppy, colorful lighting. The lighting is actually very representative of who I am because I feel like I'm very transparent and I like to be very real with people. I don't have anything to hide, and so I'd rather show people, this is who I am. This is what you're getting. So in the next frame, he tries to make peace with the beach. And he's doing a pretty good job at it. I thought it would be nice to make an homage, but then quickly things turn again and he realizes how much he hates the beach again, which I thought would be kind of fitting. Some of the things that are also props in here, that cooler is a very old cooler to represent my love for vintage things. And I'm not that great at sports, so let's deflate the football. Yes. No, soccer, no, foot. All right, we're in Bulgaria. I'm not going to try to attempt the football soccer thing. So then here I show him trying to embrace it again. And ultimately what he comes to the conclusion of is that, I'll be at the beach, why not? The thing that is very representative also about me is that I love shooting all my stuff on location. So actually everything that you are seeing is real life and actually happening in the moment. I didn't drop anyone in, and I like to portray that. So if I have to suffer, the artist is gonna have to suffer. And why not? I put him in a suit to show, wow, it's gotta be uncomfortable to be at the beach. So to prove my unicorn with jetpacks theory even more, about 5 years ago, I got asked to start shooting for a magazine called Emmy Magazine. It's a magazine in LA that gives tribute to people in the industry who have won Emmys. And I got to do a special series called Me and My Emmy. And it's crazy. I've done every single issue for the last 5 years. And essentially, I have an hour to show up, sometimes 15 minutes, sometimes an hour to shoot, and then I'm done. And ultimately, I have nothing to rely on but that core piece of who I am. And I want to show you some of the pieces that I've done. So what's interesting about this is that you can see that I have, because of the time frame and restrictions that I have, only the truest part of who I am is able to come out. I'm not able to focus on really anything else except, okay, what's deep down inside? I'm a kid at heart. I like colorful, poppy things. I like irony. And everything can be clearly seen about it. When you see all of these photos together, you actually can see a little piece of who I am. I'm essentially projecting myself onto each of these subjects. Though they're all very different people and comprise different parts of the entertainment world, I'm still projecting myself onto them. And they were nice enough to let me project myself onto them. And yes, the person on the bottom left corner is actually on fire, bringing about the fact that I love to bring a sense of reality to all of my shoots. So, to wrap it all up, the art that we live with. Now, maybe you're sitting in here and you are a creative person. I would like to encourage you to get to know what is deep down inside. Maybe you go through spouts of not feeling that creative. Sometimes the best thing to fight that is to actually dig down deep inside and ask, who am I? Maybe you don't really know yourself that well and you need to just take a break and test yourself. See the things that you enjoy. What are the things that you hate? It's okay to portray both those things because ultimately you are expressing yourself through your art. Maybe you're here and you're not an artist. This is a college of economy, so I know nothing about numbers and that's okay. I would actually like to still challenge you because at the end of the day, we are all making small decisions that actually lead up to a big picture. And even though you may not feel like you are artistic, you are probably more artistic than you realize. See, maybe you woke up this morning and you decided to hit the wonderful snooze bar and you chose to go back to sleep rather than being awake. So you've expressed to the world, I value sleep more than being awake at this time. Or maybe you drove here and you decided to cuss out the guy who just cut you off in your car. And you decided, yeah, this is a little bit of who I am right now. How dare that guy? Or maybe when you came here, you chose an aisle seat because you're just like me and you have a fear of having to go pee in the middle of a presentation. So you choose to not sit in the center. I feel you, and that's me too. But ultimately, we are all saying something to the world around us. We all have a voice that we are telling the world, whether we realize it or not, about who we are and the things that we believe in. And I just want to challenge you, everyone in this room, to be aware of that, to know that our decisions are impacting a society, that they don't just go unnoticed. They are actually affecting all the people who we are trying to do life with in the city. Sometimes we make good art, sometimes we make bad art. And just like that, sometimes we make good decisions, sometimes we make bad decisions. But I just want to encourage everyone in here, regardless, I want everyone to take a look inside and try to figure out what is that unicorn with jetpacks trying to say. Thank you.